Yeah, the one thing I've done is just sewn simple mini charms together.
Oh,
And then we have this big silver mixing bowl, and I've put it on top and traced it
get the
to make
mixing
a
bowl
round,
out.
and then just bind it with bias binding because of the curves. I've done that, but yeah, I haven't written a pattern.
Now's the time.
Yes.
Brenda wants to know if you guys will do a line of fabric and darker fabric. She loves the lights, but have gotten several of your collections, and she is a big fan.
Ooh,
That's a fun idea.
That's something to consider.
Yeah. We both love. I think we both love lights and darks, and So yeah.
Yeah, we haven't done an all just like darker tones collection.
We've added in those dark grays and navies in different collections, but
yeah.
A deep purple would be really pretty. I mean, I'm not a purple person at all, but I know you guys have purples, and I know that would be really pretty.
Oh yeah.
And we have some people who just love purples. Like, they'll buy anything. If it's purple, they're going to buy it. And it's just funny and I think anyway, Valerie wants to know, can you convert a fat quarter pattern into a layer cake? I think it just
usually
depends.
not.
Yeah. You have to sit and draw it out, and you'd have to buy a bunch of layer cakes.
Yeah. And when I'm doing a fat quarter like pattern, I want as much usability as I can out of that fat quarter. So I don't think the 10 inches would give you. Yeah, it wouldn't really convert well, I don't think, on that.
But 2 layer cakes would be about the equivalent of a fat eighth pattern. So if you had 2 layer cakes, you could most likely use it with a fat eighth pattern.
The missus wants to know if Jack gets royalties.
Oh, does Jack get royalties? Somebody wants to know.
In treats.
Just treats. Treats and walks.
And walks, yes. He gets to go on walks.
Marion wants to know what brand of cup you have. And I'm going to crack up if it's the same one that Denise has over here.
Oh, no.
Okay, I have to So,
is it the same one?
This is a hydro jug.
Okay, what?
It's a hydro jug.
That's Denise's color. So earlier I said, I was pointing at the screen, and Denise is like, what? And I'm like, they have the same jug as you.
Yeah.
So what's the deal? You can flip it upside down?
Yes, and it does not spill. And I love it. And I learned about it from my youngest son's fiance. She's a nurse.
Okay.
And the OSHA that regulates everything, they came through and they made everybody get rid of their Stanley cups because of the straws. And but the hydro jugs were okay because you could push the straw down and it's more sanitary. So after she showed me her hydro jug, I had to get one. So.
She calls me one day and says, I gotta show you this thing. And I'm like, oh no. And my dad has one too. Dad has one too, right? Oh my goodness. It is like.
And she comes over to the house and I flip it upside down.
And my dad will put it above my head and he's like, were you scared? And I'm like, no, I wasn't.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Did you know, Denise, that you could flip it upside down? Oh, that's why she got it, she says. See, I'm not in the loop. I have no idea. We just have a joke at my house that we can buy no more Yetis, no more cups. We have a whole section for just that. And then this is kind of a funny story, but last year for Christmas, Kevin did not do a good job. He knows. We've talked about it a million times. He did not do a good job. One of the gifts he gave me was this thing to hold the lids for my cups, and I was like, I don't need a holder. You just put them on the cup when you put them in the pantry. But my kids are too lazy to do that, so I was just like, oh my gosh.
Oh, that
is so funny.
Yeah, but I just have mugs everywhere, cups, and then Emma, she gets them, you get them as part of school, even Will gets them, if you're a band or basketball, you get all these cups, and nobody wants to throw away their cups. So this year we actually put on our kitchen island, by kid, and then they had to come in and say what they were going to get rid of and keep, and they kept everything, and I was like, that was not the point of this. The point of this was to eliminate.
Supposed to reduce the amount.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's so funny.
The
declutter the cups.
mugs.
It's the world we're living in now.
That's funny. Okay, someone, and some of these I don't know the names too. They want to know when they're going to meet Billy's fiance and does she quilt?
Yeah, Billy's fiance does not quilt, but she is so artistic.
Yeah.
She can draw anything, and I really keep thinking that if she could just play with a long arm machine, that she could do such amazing designs. And so I'm thinking maybe we'll get her to go to Quilt Market next fall, and she can look at the long arm. This is my little plan, you know.
Does she know about your plan?
Yeah. We've talked to her about it before a couple times. Yeah.
She does all the thumbnails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she does all the thumbnails for our YouTube channel too.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So
And I do have to say this, she is the best at doing costumes, like for Halloween, or like she makes them for her nephew, and they are always so, dress up days. Like she's always like super creative with the dress up days, so she's super creative.
yeah.
Awesome. Okay, someone is a beginner teaching themselves with help from watching YouTube videos. Her sewing space is small, and she wants to know if there's a plan in the works for a future book just for small projects smaller than 60 inches square.
Well, I feel like I do a lot of small projects. I've actually been trying to include them with my patterns because I love them. Just like this Made with Love wall hanging. I love something that you can finish in a couple hours and get up on the wall, and but not necessarily a whole book just with those projects. But I do have a lot of them with my patterns.
Yeah, so we can tease that there will be a new book coming from A Quilting Life published by It's So Emma, and all I will say is you will get some kind of information on that in March. So that's super
We are so excited about that.
Excited! I'm so glad we teased.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think it's exciting
It's
because
hard to keep it.
yeah, it's hard to keep a secret, and so now everybody's going to be on Fat Quarter Shop searching, but we have to wait because it goes with something that can't be shown yet. So
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're so excited about that. So
yeah, we're excited too, and I think it's really I think the sew along is going to be really great. Sarah and I were talking about it yesterday.
yeah, super excited.
How many hours do you think it takes you to design a new fabric collection, and do you ever get stumped on your colors?
Oh wow, several hours. I mean, from the point where I'm drawing in like my sketchbook to rendering those images and everything in the computer and just the computer work. As far as color, if I ever get stumped, I call mom, and she is always giving me new ideas. We meet up, and I feel like we don't ever get stumped.
Yeah.
I feel like we just get excited about putting more color in. I feel like when we first started designing, like you said, if you go back and look at our earlier collections, there was a lot less color. There was maybe like 5 or 6 colors. And we have been really grateful because just going forward with Moto, we've always been like, no, we want like 3 greens. We want all these different shades and just more versatility for each different color group. And so we have a lot of color in our collections, and I love it. So, but yeah, lots of time goes into it, but I truly can say, I feel like we love the whole process of it. We get really excited about new collections.
So you guys didn't answer what was your favorite quilt earlier. So Billy did.
Billy did.
Oh, dang, Billy's done.
So he said Happy Go Lucky, right?
I'm gonna go with Happy Go Lucky too because I have it right here.
Okay.
And this is gonna be so great on the back of my couch because it just will be like a fun pick up all the colors in the room type thing.
Right. Yeah, I might have to go with the Coastal Summer Medallion.
Okay.
I really like that one. Yeah. What about you?
Man, I don't know. I feel like Hearts at Home too, just because I like the smaller block and I like that it gives a scrappy feel and so many fabrics
both really love log
Oh,
cabins.
yes.
So I would say favorite quilt block,
Love log cabins.
log cabins and stars for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's probably why it's one of my favorites is the log cabins.
Yeah, that gives me a book idea right there for you guys. Okay, so
Yes.
I'll write it down.
Okay.
So can y'all talk a little bit about how Moda works with seasonal and holiday fabrics? Like what year and how many do you get to do that are Christmas and like you had a Valentine's
Yeah.
group, Christmas group. Can you talk a little bit about what you're like, how often we can see something that's going to be holiday-ish from you guys?
Yeah, I feel like not every year.
Yeah.
Right.
We actually just met with them at market about that, but yeah, another holiday collection will be in the future.
Yeah.
So
We can say that.
we can say that.
Okay, are there new
Yeah,
color
and we feel
combos
like-
coming?
Yes.
Yes.
I think there
We
are.
have like talked
Yes.
about this extensively, I feel like.
Yeah.
And we've kind of been going back and forth with we've talked about that a lot. So yes, it is coming.
Yes.
And do
But
you
yeah,
like?
typically
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, typically designers do 2 collections a year, but yeah, a holiday collection might be something that's separate, so like an extra collection a year.
Mm-hmm.
So
And when you're like drawing your fabric, what inspires you? Is it like fashion or home decor, or is it just what inspires you? How do you start your collection process?
So I have to be honest, I am a floral girl. Like that is how the basics that we design actually are the last thing that I work on. It is all florals, and I think that just comes from, even like nature too. Like we'll be on like a hike as a family, and I'll be like, way behind my family, and my husband's like, "Where were you?" And I'm like, "I was taking pictures of flowers. Like, what were you doing?" But no, I have a sketchbook that I've had since we started designing with Moda, and I will just sit there and draw and draw and draw. And what's really cute is I've noticed that my oldest daughter now everywhere just doodling flowers all the time, and I'm like, yes, it's begun. Like maybe she'll design someday. But it always starts with the florals for me, and I don't know, I just keep drawing different flowers, and I love it. So
And someone also asked if y'all were going to include some like larger scale florals that could be used on borders and backings, so that kind of ties in.
yeah, this is so funny that was asked, because I was actually looking at, I think one of the larger florals we did was with Emma, and it really like scared me because
Yes.
it was really spaced out and the flowers were larger than we normally do. And I really do want to do something really large.
Yeah.
And I know my mom would love it
Yeah,
because she
I would love
loves
it.
that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be great. So that's definitely coming as well. So yeah.
I think sometimes when she has a group of things ready to show me, the thing that I always say is, you need to add one more large floral.
Oh, all the time.
It's like a broken record.
Yeah.
And
Just
So-
one more floral, Chelsea. And I'm like, okay.
so yeah.
How do you keep your log cabins accurate when you're piecing them? Someone says they have kind of trouble keeping it accurate because it kind of. I always feel like they shrink as you make them.
Yeah, I actually filmed a video on this yesterday.
Oh,
And,
perfect.
I told you I was using that spray, and I felt like the spray helped.
Okay.
And I also feel like as you're starting to go around, it's kind of a really good indication of how accurate your 1/4 inch seam is. So when you're adding a strip, if it's too big or too small, that's probably a reflection of your seam and a good way for you to check it. But a lot of times I'll pre-cut the strips so that they're exactly what they're supposed to be, and that way it keeps me on track. But then there are also some really great rulers. The Creative Grids log cabin trim tool is super helpful, especially for the little tiny ones, and even the 8 inch. I love that ruler for log cabins because you're trimming it with every round?
I think this is what nothing makes me happier than like a perfect log cabin block. It's just so satisfying to see everything. So the 1/4 inch for sure is like when I'm sewing. I think that's why I like the 8.5 inch unfinished size, because I feel like it's really easy to like handle when you go into like a larger log cabin. But yeah, I love it. They're so cute.
Someone wants you guys to talk about how your fabric designs have changed, that you've mentioned it a few times in your podcast, and like, do you think it's your color, your style, your design, or all of that?
So I love this question too. It's all of it, because I feel like when we first started out, your confidence just grows the more that you're designing collections, and I feel like I have learned even so much more and more of what I like and confident in what we like. And you can go back and look at some of those earlier designs, and we really have kind of like evolved, but it's still, we always say the phrase like, it's still Sherri and Chelsi, it's just evolved a little bit. But colors too, I feel like we're more confident working with different colors, and just I think the confidence has grown, and we get so excited about each collection, and yeah, I feel like we never run out of ideas too. So
I feel like the flowers that Chelsi draws have kind of a whimsical feel to them, and I love that, and I hope that never changes. You know, there's always just a little something different that you don't know what to expect, and I feel like that kind of has stayed the same. Maybe some of the edges have gotten a little softer, but it still has that little touch of whimsy.
Yeah, and everything looks really, really clean, like now. So yeah.
And then to end, this is I think the best question. What have been some of the highlights of this journey of working together?
Oh my goodness.
Wow, that is such a great question.
I am so, this is me getting really like sappy, but I'm just so in awe of my mom. Like I just think she's awesome, and I've learned so much from her, and I feel really lucky and grateful because I have literally like the greatest mentor right here. Like I call her all the time, but we get that question a lot. Like, how does that work? Like as a mother and daughter team, and we love it, and like we totally mean that. It's been a great blessing that we work really well together, and there's a lot of laughs, and there's, you know, a lot of compromise, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I love having someone that I can, you know, lean on during everything, you know, so.
Wow, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I feel the same way. It's such a good partnership. It's so, not that it's always perfect.
Yeah, I know.
But, you know, sometimes I think people watch our podcast and they think, oh, it's perfect, but it's real life. But it's just so much fun, and I cannot imagine doing this by myself. I just can't, and I just feel like we're always really open to hearing each other's opinions, and
we're really honest.
Yeah, super honest about how we feel, and yeah, and we've had just some hilarious times traveling together that have been so much fun. You know, that I keep thinking of this one trip we were on, and I had booked a restaurant for dinner on Open Table, and I put that the purpose of the dinner was a business meeting. Well, somehow they got it confused that it was a birthday. So they kept bringing us stuff for, and so I said, oh, her birthday was like a month away. And so I was like, oh, they're like, who's the birthday girl? Oh, her. And we just laughed, and we had so much fun. It just, like, I'll never forget that.
But it was so funny because they walked out and they're like, somebody has a birthday. And we're like, what? And I also want to add upon that just Billy coming in to this whole thing, it's just the most fun trio ever.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I wish we had like a reality TV show that you guys could watch because it's just fun, and Billy is just so like, he's just that extra piece that I never knew like we needed too. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it.
And he'll sometimes, just like fill in that gap and
Yeah.
in the communication process between
Yeah,
the
sometimes
three
he's
of
a good
us.
mediator.
He's a good
like
mediator.
Yeah.
So he always has good advice. He's very calming.
yeah, he's very calm.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Which is funny because he used to always tease his siblings
All the time.
But now he's like the calming
The calm one.
influence. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming on our live stream. I did do a recent podcast with you guys, so if y'all want to hear that, it's on their YouTube channel and on podcasts, wherever you find your podcasts.
Yeah.
We're gonna give away 5 Jolly Bars today to 5 people.
Oh my goodness!
I know, and the Jolly Bar kit, a lot of you have been asking, but the kit will be live next week when the yardage comes in. So we have the Jolly Bars, but we don't have the yardage to put with it, and it has the free pattern. And you have until January 25th to enter. Ashley's gonna pick and announce winners January 26th, and you have to comment and tell me your top 3 quilts that you saw in this video. And if there's any other quilts that they've designed that you want to throw in the top, just let us know, because I know that they would be really interested to see like what do you like, because I know that as designers we look at things and what sells best and what people are looking for is what we try to provide for the future. So that'll be great.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much.
It's
so
just been
fun.
a delight.
Thank you
And
so much.
we can't wait for March to share more.
Yes, and we'll probably do a live stream to announce that. We can do that. That'll be awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Awesome.